I got millions and millions of contributions. They did not come from the executives.
Senator, you're asking me not to sue pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, you are. That's exactly what you're doing.
Look, no one should be fooled here.
I think this is the first time I'm ever going to agree with a Democrat on something.
Very concerned about Bobby Kennedy making money. Let's have a little look at her donor list. And as we...
Heyo, and welcome to potentially the last day of Canada as we know it. I am hoping I'm hyperbolic with that, however, I don't think I am. However, we're going to spend today not thinking of that, because that's like head in the gutter, and I don't really want to think of that today. However, instead, a couple days ago, there was a specific hearing that went on in U.S. Congress. It was for RFK Jr., and there was a lot that went on. There was a lot that happened. A lot of allies allies, because you got liberals being like, oh, we're for free health care, and then it turns out that there's a little bit of stuff getting slipped underneath the door with that type of statement. Go figure. But on other news, aside from RFK Jr.'s hearing happening, apparently Netflix is planning on doing a Little House on the Prairie reboot. Why? This is a complete and utter tangent to the main point at hand, but at the same rate I saw this today, I was like, why is this happening? Why do we need this? Who asked for this? Who is like, man, we could use an ancient piece of history to be revamped into 2024's woke version of it. Why? Who's asking for this? Who is asking for this? What troglodyte is like typing into the recommended feed of Netflix and like, oh, I went to Little House on the Prairie again? Like, who's doing that? Why are you making this? Who asked for it? Stop it! Stop it! Anywho, time to return back to the main point at hand, which is people like Bernie Sanders getting into a conniption over RFK Jr., and then RFK Jr. deciding to lay the smackdown against a so-called person for healthcare and yada yada yada.
I'm going to make America healthier than other countries in the world right now.
Will you guarantee do what every other major country does? It's a simple question.
And by the way, Bernie, the problem of corruption is not just in the federal agencies, it's in Congress too. Almost all the members of this panel are accepting, including yourself, are accepting millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh, no,
protecting their interests.
Oh, I thought that would come. No. I ran for president like you. I got millions and millions of contributions. They did not come from the executives, not one nickel of PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. They came from workers.
In 2020, you were the single largest
because I had
receiver of pharmaceutical money
from workers all over this country. Workers,
you were the
not a nickel from corporate PACs.
You were the single largest acceptor of pharmaceutical dollars.
No, from workers in the industry.
1.5 million.
Yeah, out of 200 million. All right, but...
So clearly, somebody was called out. Somebody was called out during this. And it seems like, I don't know, guys. How different is it to say that a company is paying us to say something versus the company's employees are paying us to say something? Oh, wait, isn't the CEO technically a formation of a employee of a company? Like, what? That argument completely falls flat and means absolutely nothing. And guys, the senators, the Democratic senators just kept on going and going and going, trying to lambast the dude for trying to make Americans healthy again. They're just trying to nail him to the wall there with something, even though they had nothing. On this other tab I got here, we have ourselves another senator. Sorry, you weren't meant to see that. We have another senator going after him called Senator Peter Welch. And it's Welch, but I mean, I don't care. Let us take a look at that.
I understand that's a huge problem, and
All right, I don't have time. We've got to get over to vote. So we can do this.
but you've asked me 5 questions. You got to give me a chance to answer one of them.
Please be brief.
Yeah,
Look at this okay, hold on.
5 questions. You got to give me a chance to answer one of them.
Look at this dude's face. He looks like he was just told no. He looks like a kid who was just told no for the very first time. Dude looks like he's about to have a hissy fit over here. Like, asking question after question after question. And then he tries to answer, and he's like, oh, we're out of time. Stop taking up the time. Like, then how about ask less questions when you could then get through them point by point by point? Clearly, they don't want to do that because they don't want him to speak. They don't want Kennedy to speak because when he speaks, he does nothing but speak facts and makes their entire job an entire complete sham. But now for a little bit of what some might call an ad break. I'm not sponsored, but she certainly is, cause holy hootney, she just kept on going, clearly being in some sort of something going on here, cause man, she is trying very hard to defend them.
Lawsuits while you are Secretary of HHS, and I'm asking you to commit right now that you will not take a financial stake in every one of those lawsuits so that what you do as secretary will also benefit you financially down the line.
I'll comply with all the ethical guidelines.
That's not the question. You have said
You're asking me, Senator, you're asking me not to sue pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah,
you are. That's exactly what you're doing.
Health. Look, no one should be fooled here. As Secretary of HHS, Robert Kennedy will have the power to undercut.
You know, she said it perfectly. She said it very perfectly. You know, I think this is the first time I'm ever gonna agree with a Democrat on something, cause she said it perfectly. Nobody should be fooled, because clearly somebody had an ad break, and somebody is getting paid. Let us check out those numbers real quick from looking at over onto a wheel video from Rattlesnake TV talking about the expense reports that are going on here.
But like he said, though, what she's trying to actually do is to just get him to say that he will not be suing pharma companies, and he's not going to do that. But seeing as though Elizabeth Warren is so very concerned about Bobby Kennedy making money, let's have a little look at her donor list. And as we can see here, boom, what do you know?
Look at that. $2.3 million, huh? She might have been, guys, believe it or not, she might have been cooking when she said that we should not be fooled. She might have been cooking. We shouldn't be fooled. Because they're getting paid. And go figure, she isn't the only one who is having documents resurfacing and resurfacing. For example, one of the senators there, who is Ron Wyden, is getting paid out to the tune of $1.5 million by the so-called companies that they're so on the side of, never questioning, never having a problem with her. They're so on their side that they're willing to throw over someone who used to be on their side and completely shove them under the bus and then drive the bus over him twice. That is how gravely they feel about how terrible RFK is about him questioning the science. They want to throw him under the bus, drive the bus over him 5 times or 4, and because they just don't want any of the questioning to happen. They're terrified. They are terrified of an American questioning what is going into Americans. So yeah, she is absolutely right. We should not be fooled. It is blatantly obvious. We don't even look, I didn't have to see the bank records to believe it. I already assumed that they were getting paid. I don't think anybody else wasn't assuming that they weren't getting paid. And so, the evidence coming out is just another nail on that coffin being down. Cause I don't... Are you going to be on the side of someone who is getting paid to say something, or on the side of the person who is actively getting lambasted for going against something that people are getting paid to say? Whose side are you gonna be on? Cause I know where I am. And it is on the side of making people healthy, not trying to dwell is the wrong word, but degrade their living situation. Now for this little next section, I'm not gonna play the whole entire thing, but I picked this video specifically because he goes on for a while. To be completely frank. He goes on for a while and he talks and he talks and he talks and everything is just, it's correct. And the reason why I pointed out that I brought this dude's video up is because there's a whole mountain load of videos from Democrats who are saying that they are ashamed with being aside the Democratic Party after what they did to RFK. They are ashamed. They are making videos crying out saying, "We made a mistake. We're on the wrong side of history." If this is not what you'd qualify as a complete political position crumbling to the ground, then I don't know what is. Let's check out this video.
You know, I have never been more convinced in my entire life that the Democratic Party are the most degenerate and morally warped political entity that we currently have. To listen to, I firmly believe that, and I believe they provided plenty of evidence of this today throughout RFK's hearing, that this party abandoned everyone years and years ago. Okay, I like there's no other way that I can put this. To listen to Elizabeth Warren shill for Big Pharma, demanding that that RFK Jr. Couldn't commit to not sue the pharmaceutical companies after he leaves office. To listen to the senator from a senator from New Hampshire say that, accuse RFK of being a sellout. A sellout to who? And then on top of that,
imagine getting paid to be a sellout, complaining that someone who is not getting paid of being a sellout. That's utterly insane and funny drivel to listen to because it's just complete brain juice leaking from the ears. That's how stupid it is. But he puts it out perfectly. How the Democrats are waking up and realizing how utterly garbage these politicians are. They don't care about Americans. They care about them, themselves, and nobody else. That's all they care for. They don't care about the actual people. They only care about themselves and nobody else. They don't care about you. And this is no more evident than a comedian. Actually, I think that's not even too many. A comedian, trying to do 4 quotations here. A comedian trying to insult RFK for his disability. Great showing there, Democrats, trying to make fun of a person who has a disorder. That's, did anyone else forget about, like, the last, 5 years? 4 years. Well, might as well be 5. The last too many years where the Democratic Party has been, oh, you're phobe this, phobe that, you get a phobe, you get a phobe, you get a phobe, everybody gets a phobe. Remember when they were doing that? And then here comes RFK, someone with an actual disorder, and then we have ourselves Jimmy Kimmel mocking him for his disorder. The Democratic Party, the party of tolerance, the party of acceptance, the party of everybody's unique and has their own special uniquities. Anywho, that is just about where I'm gonna end this video off, because it is just the utter calamity of the Democratic Party. The utter calamity. They've been saying for years how you shouldn't be marginalizing people, you shouldn't be mean, you shouldn't be this, you shouldn't be that, you shouldn't be this. And then a dude with an actual disorder, a dude who actually cares about Americans' healthiness or livelihoods, you could even say, they mock him, they slander him, and then they throw little spitballs at him for his disorder. And then they call him a shill. They're the shill. They're the people who are worth mocking. They're this, that, the third, and the other thing. And yet here they are doing nothing but the liberal propaganda of projection. Anywho, that is just about all I had to say today. I have way too many tabs open on my browser right now, and I severely need to make this video because every single time I click my mouse, my computer goes, another click, oh my goodness, and starts having a hissy fit below me. It's like, I have to clean up these tabs. But to bring back from the very beginning of the video, where I brought up how today is potentially the last day of Canada as we know it, I do mean that. It is potentially the very last day of Canada as we know it. And to which I then tell y'all, be prepared, and if you can, I would say it's best to move to, like, I don't know, somewhere like Saskatchewan or Alberta, but, I mean, probably can't move because, we're all broke. I'm not looking forward to what is coming up. And, people have been talking about how the bill, or the executive order was signed, and yada yada, and people are talking about it, and once again, as I stated in the other video, once the ball starts rolling, I don't see where the ball stops rolling. In the end, how I see it, Canada will be completely and utterly economically broke. And so will Canadians. Nothing's really going to happen to Americans because they have a economic superpower to take the brunt of that. Oh wait, sorry. If we're not costing them a $200 billion deficit, then maybe they don't even have to deal with a blowback because we're already... us merely not existing in their economy is helping that blowback on its own. Anywho, before I talk about another tangent, I'm gonna leave it off here and say I hope to see you tomorrow. But until then, I hope that you have a good one.